The Sony Macopi trackers have came out about 7 or 8 months ago, which, even though it's not a long time, it kind of feels like it. It's a bit of dead news. Back whenever in the first and second month of its release, it was quite popular because people were always looking out for full body tracking for VR devices that are easy, might not be cheap, but super easy to set up, like Macopi trackers. And of course, on that second month, they got even more popular whenever they started releasing betas to people, which made it more easy for people to use it for VR, adding trackers and being able to move them. But it's been a while and you don't see that many videos on it anymore. People just don't really talk about it because it's a bit of dead news. Even they've released so many updates and anything like that, that it's just kind of cool that people don't even talk about. I mean, just like about 3 weeks ago when I recorded this, they released a new update where it lets you scan yourself and may have like your own little avatar instead of having to do whatever. I mean, look. This isn't VR. This is built into the app. This is cool. But people aren't talking about it enough. Why? This is a good review. Now that it's 2024, we're going to be looking at the Macopi trackers, not just for VR, but also looking at its other advanced options like upper body tracking, what you could do with that. And is it really good? And is it worth it at the $400 price hold? Let's find that out. Looking at the back of the product, we can see the contents of the package, showing the case, the straps, all of that. With the Sony logo in a white box, unpeeling it will show you the marketing design with different colors and whatnot. The main top piece on the top will show you the instructions on actually how to use them by installing the app, connecting to the trackers, and etc. Opening it up will give you the legal documentation that they're forced to do for the, motion capture trackers. And actually opening it up, you can tell that most of it is in Japan because that's where it came from. It was in Japanese. Underneath that is the actual Macopi trackers. You can see that it comes in a case, which means that you can all charge them at once, which makes it very convenient for charging instead of having to do it individually like some other trackers. And actually looking closely at it, on the right side, you can tell that they have USB-C tracking. Charging, my bad. And using that, you can actually charge your trackers using like your Quest, thing or whatever. Again, looking at the case, if you open it up, you can see the 6 main trackers: the wrist trackers, the hip trackers, the head trackers, and the ankle trackers. And they're very nicely made. They're very lightweight, they're very small and compact. There's a very obvious big button in the front that you can use to like calibrate the tracking and everything. So it's very nice and they're very lightweight. As you can see, if I carry them, we can put that away, and underneath the trackers, we can see all of the different straps that you're going to need to be able to actually use them. For example, we have the wrist trackers, we have the head tracker, which is a very big tracker, a hip tracker, which is small, and then you got the 2 ankle straps, which are very nice quality. And that's really it for the unboxing. Okay, first we have the setup process. The first thing you're going to want to do is open the Macopi app if you don't already have it installed. It should take a little second to load up, and you're going to click Start Motion Capture. It's going to tell you that you're preparing to connect. Click Connect and Next, and then at this part where it shows you all your things, if you've already done this before, you're going to want to click on each one, make sure it's laying on blue, and then press the Startup to Link. Now, I don't know why it took so long when I did this. I think my Wi-Fi was having issues, but usually it's pretty fast. After this, you're going to click Confirm, and it'll show you what straps to put. This would be around the time whenever you want to apply the straps to your body. So, like I said like last time, you got the wrist straps, which to tighten them, you have to put through a loop, and then you kind of just... They work very nice, and I'm really happy about it. You have the leg ones. You have the head strap, which is kind of like a headband that you just have to put it on the back of your head. And then you have the hip tracker, which you're going to put behind you, probably on your pants or something. Then you can continue the setup. It's going to tell you how to attach it and fix the sensors if they don't fit, and show you all the locations. After that, you can put all the things. First off, wrist left. And then you have wrist right, then the head one, And you have the hip, which you're gonna have to figure it out by turning it over and over. You have the left leg, just place it there. And the right one, which you should be able to know which one's which with the indicator on it. Then you're gonna click confirm, and then tell you what your height is, and it's gonna tell you how to calibrate. Click start calibration, and you're just gonna have to wait until you hear a chime. It's very intuitive and oh, sorry, my alarm's going off. I'm sorry. Okay, let's redo that. So you're gonna stand still, have your hands down, look forward, and then whenever you hear the chime, you're going to want to take a step forward without moving your arms and keeping in a steady direction. If it's calibrated correctly, you're going to see in the app, you're going to see yourself with the animated girl, and boom, you can start doing whatever. Now what? Very good question, and let's look at that. So, think of it like this. You can make some action thing where, you like, grenade, and boom, you have to take cover. You can make simple movements like this. It can actually be very helpful for things like this. That's what motion capture is for, is so you can track things like actual real-life motion. Now, do be careful. If you walk away from your phone, this can happen. Yeah, don't go away from your phone. And, again, you can do other things, but, something that you can also do? You can dance. Pretty well. Look at me go. Now, of course, what is the point of motion tracking? You see things like this where they look really good. That's because they have full, really expensive things. But at a $450 price tag, you get only 6 points of tracking that you can see on this thing that's in the app. And while it's helpful, you only get head tracking, which will track your head movement, your wrist, your hip, and then all together, your ankle should make it so you can do whatever, and you get tracking that looks like this. Of course, there are some things that make it look better than it actually is, but we can talk about that later. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Now for this mode, you need to be in the Macopi tracker app, but this time you're going to want to press the 3 dots in the corner and turn on advanced mode. Now you're going to want to continue the setup like normal, but when you get to this screen pop-up, you're going to be wanting to click the second option, VR. Now at the top, you're going to notice it has different tracker layouts, and if you zoom into it, it just has different placements, but we are going to talk about this later because it'll make more sense. Now the setup goes normal after that, but you're going to notice when you try to put the wrist straps on your thighs, it won't exactly fit, but the only solution to this right now is that you're going to figure out some DIY to extend it. So personally, I had to make my straps look like this, and I just have to attach it to my original straps, and now I can extend it and use it for both still, so I can still use it as wrist straps. So try not to make it permanent. Now, the only differences for this is that the wrist trackers are on your thighs now, so you can put them there. In the app, you're going to want to go to the Motion tab at the top, and then press the green broadcast button at the bottom. You're going to want to put your Oculus Quest IP address in there, but here's how to do that. Move over to your VR and open the Wi-Fi page in the settings, or just in the everything page, and click the arrow next to your Wi-Fi. Scroll down to find your IP address, and in your phone, you're going to want to put it in there. But don't click the broadcast button yet, because we're going to need to do that after we go into VR chat. So now you're going to go into VR chat on your Quest and open a world that has some sort of mirror, and go to your settings to make sure your height is accurate. Then you're going to want to open up the expression reel, and then go to options, and then OSC, and then turn it on. Then open up the debug screen. After this, then you can finally turn on the trackers, which making sure your IP address is correct, and whenever you turn it on, you should see on that debug menu that there are the icons for your tracker, and every time you move them, they go a little sensitive. Now, I don't know why mine was broken, but you're going to want to go to a mirror and click the calibrate full body tracking. You're supposed to see your avatar there, and you're supposed to have 2 little icons where your feet trackers are, so you're going to put the feet where the feet on your avatar is, and then your controller hands where the controller is. Now I had to reset my game, but whenever I did this, you can see that it does work, but it was really choppy. It honestly doesn't look that good, which is pretty disappointing because you would hope something like this does look pretty good, but I don't know. But anyway, so let's just move on. Alright, so first, what is Slime VR? This is an open source application meant for IMU tracking that will gather information up and correctly place the trackers all over your body so, you can do stuff. Now, this software is on PC, and it can be annoying to set up if you don't know what you're doing. But if you do, first you open this, then connect this. Go here, launch this. Okay, that's the main start of this. At this point, you should have your VR connected to Steam VR. Now you want to open this, press this. Now on the mobile app, you're going to go to Slime VR and broadcast the trackers. Make sure you have the right IP address. Over to PC, you should see the trackers, and after reset, you might be able to fix it. Resetting it always fixes things. Once fixed, you're going to want to press that and do all that. Then go over here and do that. And now that's done, for the easy part, open VR chat. Do the same thing that you did for the quest tracking, and now you get actually looking good full body tracking. I mean, look at that. Now you can kick people all you want. Especially when they're just flexing about their full body tracking. Even though technically you're also flexing by kicking them. I don't know. Oh. So now, this alludes to the question, though. Why does Quest Standalone not look as good as the Macopi app or Slime VR? You might just think, oh, because these are better devices. You're running a phone that can support more frames and you're running a whole PC. That's not really the actual reason, and there's a more complicated way of saying it instead of just saying that. So basically, the Macopi app and the Slime VR trackers app adds more keyframes between the animations of your character or your full body moving. It's more of like a stick figure, that's what it sees, not an avatar. And the trackers can only track so much as they're pretty small. So whenever you're seeing on Quest is the actual tracking quality that the trackers have. They don't track a lot. But what the Macopi app does and the Slime VR app does is that it smooths out between animations. So it makes it look like it's realistic. And you can tell this by going into the Slime VR app, and it will show you that you have options on what your smoothing is, where you can make it super extreme, in the middle, or just off. And having it off is going to make it look like it's the quest trackers. And that's because the smoothing into it helps it. It makes it look better. Now, the tracking in general is good. It just depends on what you're using. And the reason that you're not getting that good stuff on Quest, even though you're using an app that shows that it's good, is because it's not broadcasting the actual avatar data that you're seeing on the app, but it's sharing the exact data from the trackers just to the headset, raw data, nothing changed. Anyway, so that's going to be it for this. The Macopi trackers are a good tracker. That's just an overall thing. I am skipping out on one part of it and of an aspect, but I don't think really anyone cares about it, which is just basically upper body tracking that's meant to track your upper body. That's gonna cut it for this. I'm so happy. I'm finally done with this. You know how long I've been doing it? I've been doing this since like February. It's May right now. I've been doing this for 4 months because I've been postponing it. I mean, I literally had to make a schedule for myself of uploads I want to do. I don't know if you even want to do those uploads anymore. But I'm going to have to do them now because I publicly posted them. But I'll talk about that. Finally. God. I'm just gonna go play Golden Trophy. Note to self, I really need to stop editing videos while I'm still in the production part of it. Like, fun fact, when it comes to making YouTube videos, you should really get all the recording parts done with and save editing to the very end. I've had this video probably on for 2 months working on it, on and off and on and off, because I would keep editing it while recording, which is a very bad productive mood. Like, the only thing that's been letting me getting finished is that I forced myself to not only Photoshop myself a timeline of the videos I'm going to make, and I saved the video that I want to make to the very last, but then I have made myself post pictures of that timeline across multiple social platforms, just so I could, even though no one's going to look at them, convince myself that people are going to be wanting to watch these videos, so I need to make these content already out, and to not get this one done means I can't get the other ones done. So, bad move me, womp womp.